how much do on an average product managers earn? Like, you can break it down into, let's say, APM, PM and SPM.
So for APM role, you can expect somewhere between 6 to 15 kind of 16 per lakh per annum range. If we go to the PM position, that range somewhere around 15 to 25 lakh. Then if we go to SPM role, range starts from like 15 or 18 to like 35 lakh.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we have Kirti, who has worked as a product manager at consumer tech companies like CarDekho, Blinkit and Flip. And we are going to deep dive into building consumer products, about product management, how does the product manager role is going to evolve and much more. Thanks a lot, Kirti, for coming here. If you can give a quick introduction to the audience.
Thanks, Manoj, for inviting me to this podcast. A brief introduction would be, I'm a engineer by degree, electronics engineer by degree. So I started my career 6 years back with CarDekho as a product analyst, where I first time learned about what the product manager and product analyst role look like, what are the skills required for these roles, how they are actually connected to the customer. Later on, I moved to Grofers, which is now Blinkit. I was there for 3.5 years. And as the company evolved from Grofers to Blinkit, then Blinkit by Zomato, I also transitioned from APM role to PM role. After spending good amount of time there, I decided to explore some international market and join Indonesian fintech, which is Flip. So you can think of Flip as somewhat similar to Paytm or Google Pay. It is into peer-to-peer bank transfer. So yeah, that has been my journey so far, moving from one growth-oriented startup to another growth-oriented startup. Yeah.
I think perfect. So you have a varied experience. So I have framed the questions accordingly too. So I think the first question which I want to start is, so many people who want to break into product have this confusion of, okay, is product analyst a good role to start with, or should I become an APM or should I become a PM, right? So what is the difference you see between a product analyst role and product manager role? And is it a good part to take in to become a product manager?
That's an interesting question. If I have to answer, like, is it a good part to become product analyst or APM only? There is no right answer to it. So if I have to think of a scenario of what product analyst do and whereas what APM does. So there is a complete change in the role and responsibility. If you are an APM, you are more expected to be a generalist. You are expected to take care of the stakeholders, take care of the product development life cycle, coming up with ideas, doing the product research and market research, even running the scrum and everything, and then launching the product and then analyzing it. Was it successful or not? Whereas a product analyst role is more about analyzing the data for product itself. So I would say if someone wants to break into product management role, product analyst role gives you more opportunity to explore your interest, I would say. If you break into product management as a product analyst, you have the option to go into data path also, like become data analyst, versus you can take the product management path also. If I were to talk about the career opportunities in these two paths, I would say product management path is somewhat narrowed down because you can only go into product roles in product-based companies mostly. You can transition to service-based companies as a product manager, but that rarely happens. But if you take up the data analyst path, then there is a exponential increase in the opportunities because you can go into consultancy, banks, any firm that has some data of a user will require data analysts. So in terms of that, product analyst job gives you opportunity to explore. Whereas if you directly become APM, then there is just one set path for you. You become PM and SPM and so forth. So I would say there is no correct answer for everyone. You have to explore on yourself.
Got it. Perfect. So the next question is a very common and popular question, right? So I think this comes from, I've been talking to a lot of people who are trying to transition to product management, and like, how much do PMs earn, right? Because this answer helps them to take a decision of should I transition to this role or should I take a pay cut, right? How much do on an average product managers earn? Let's say you can break it down into, let's say, APM, PM and SPM.
Sure. So these days, many companies have also break down the role of product analyst into two roles, like become product analyst, then APM 2, and so forth, but I will combine these roles all together. So for APM role, you can expect somewhere between 6 to 15 kind of 16 per lakh per annum range. This depends a lot on the based on your college that you are coming from, and also the size of the company, like size of the customer base actually. If we go to the PM position, that range somewhere around 15 to 25 lakh. Then if we go to SPM role, range starts from like 15 or 18 to like 30, 35 lakh, which is a very big range because sometimes like this, you stay in this role for long. And so for like it keep on increasing. At the CPO level, when you reach there, it can goes up to 70 lakh to 1 crore in some companies. So yeah, this is the basic range that happens in product-based companies.
Got it. Perfect. So, and the next question I have is, let's say you have worked with a couple of consumer tech companies, right? And have you seen how does product management change according to stage of the company? You told you are with growers, and when growers were growing, you were there, right? So you were part of the journey in different stages of the Blinkit.
Right.
Right, and then you were also part of CarDekho, and then you were also part of a fintech company, and those were also in different stages when you were there. So how do you see that product manager as a role being evolving at different stages of the product or based on the company's goal?
So if I have to divide the type of companies or startups in different phases, I would divide it into 4 phases. First is pre-revenue or early revenue stage. Second will be growth stage, where most of the companies lie once they start getting a lot of customers. And then they are in mature stage for some time, where they are going for IPO and or have already done IPO, and then there is enterprise stage. I haven't worked for enterprise stage companies, so would leave that part. But coming to early stage or pre-revenue phase company, if I have to talk about what the product manager there are expected to do, product management there is more on the hands-on. Like you have to be juggling between different tasks, doing multiple things by yourself within a day. At one point of time, you might be doing data analysis, you might be running Scrum, you might be going for research, and even you might be taking customer calls yourself. So if your team is like 10 to 20 people, like from product side, if you are 10 to 20 product managers, you will be juggling between different tasks. In that case, you have to be hustler a lot. I still remember when I joined Growers, they were into that early revenue stage kind of thing. And I was managing their loyalty program at that point of time. And I used to credit coins to customer who used to complain on Facebook and Instagram. So that was the early phase of Blinkit or Growers. Then if I move from early phase to growth stage startups, the product management is, I would say, more about growing the customer base, optimizing the current revenue models, and also figure out more revenue models. So when I was at CarDekho, they had already cracked the PMF already. They had achieved a good market share also, and had steady revenue streams. So they were expanding into insurance Dekho or bike Dekho and few other things where they were figuring out what would be their next move for business. They also acquired few businesses like used car business at that time. And if you work as a product manager in those companies, you continuously do experimentation with your current product and also try to get more revenue from the existing customer. So to expand the business. Then moving to bit of mature stage companies, which was Blinkit at that time when Blinkit was almost in the stage of being acquired by Zomato. There, I would say you are optimizing for the current thing as well as the new businesses has start taking up. So you start collaborating with those businesses. Okay, how we can get the customer to this new segment? What are the things that we can cut the cost and optimize our whole funnel a lot? So those are the things that work for mature stage. The PMs there are more responsible for a specific things, like specific problems, rather than doing multiple things at a time. If you, for example, are the PM for homepage only, then in homepage itself, you will be focusing on just one problem, not the whole homepage. So there you are have narrow problem that you have to solve for. So yeah, that's the different stages of product management in different stage of the company.
Correct. I think perfect. Just to summarize, I think pre-revenue stage companies, you are a hustler, hands-on, you build things. And in growth stage, you optimize for the user journey, you optimize for the revenue, you focus on growing the user base. And in matured stage companies, you are very focused on a particular thing. Like you are given a very specific feature or a product which you need to focus on, and you also work on expanding to a new user segment or new business line. What are your key learnings while building consumer tech products?
So if I have to think of key learnings while building consumer tech product, is like first thing apart from learning is like you have the customer base that you can go and talk to. So that's very different from working for SaaS company. So you have the leverage of just going and talking to customer. So if I have to list down all the key learnings, first would be that you can build a product in a such a way that your product speaks for itself and can drive the growth. So basically, the product-led growth could be a major mood for your whole company. If you are building a product that is even 1% better in something which completely change the funnel, then that could have a major impact on the journey of the user. So just for example, when I was working at Flip, I was managing onboarding team there, and just 1% delta of how many consumer come and onboard and register with us can totally change the business in a very long run. It may be very small number in one day, but its cumulative effect could be huge. Similarly, if you are working in customer experience or consumer tech, your 1% change can have huge impact, but in long run. So try to build product-led growth and levers for changing the growth trajectory of the company through your product. Second would be do as much A/B experimentation as you can, because unlike other company where, like if I take as example, the client themselves asks for the product or feature themselves, whereas in the consumer tech companies you don't know what products or what features customer require. You have to test it, build hypothesis, come up with the answers, fail, and then learn. So go for it. You might fail sometimes, but never stops doing A/B experimentation. Another would be to have a cross team collaboration, not just with other tech teams, but with other teams outside tech. What I'm talking about, talk to your marketing team, your customer support team, your category or content team. So when I was working with Blinkit, greatest number, like the highest number of ideas and the pain points that I have come to was from customer support team. I used to talk to them almost every week, at least once, and they used to give it the major pain points that customer are asking for or reporting. So go and talk to more people. They will give far more insight than you can get from reading anything or listening to anyone else.
Got it. I think just to summarize, so one is even if you make a small impact in a funnel as a consumer company, it has a lot of consumers, so it might have a big impact for the business. And second is doing experimentation because you don't know what's the need that the user might have. And the last one is talk to people who are more closer to consumers, like customer support.
Right.
That will help you to get more insights. It's a follow-up maybe. Like you told, like customers don't ask what they want. We have to find it out. So how do you take decisions as a product manager in a consumer tech firm? Let's say building a product or adding a feature or prioritizing a feature or building a product roadmap. So how do you take a decision? Yeah, this is something we need to build and this is something we should not build.
So there are multiple factors at different stages of development lifecycle where these decisions need to be made. For example, coming up with ideas or prioritizing ideas. So in consumer companies, we generally go with multiple paths. First is brainstorming within the team and brainstorming outside the team also, like talking to different stakeholders, for example, content team, customer support team. What are the problems or ideas they have? Another thing that we do is doing the market research of Indian and international markets, take inspirations from them, and doing the first principle thinking also helps to us to come up with ideas. Once these idea list has been created, we prioritize based on the different framework. It could be Moscow, it could be RISE framework. Once we decide that these are the few ideas that we would like to take forward, we generally go for A/B testing to solve from the concrete ideation process or concrete results, because we don't know what customer might like. There could be liking UI in certain way, UX in certain way. Since we have the leverage of using the customer data by doing experimentation, we generally go with the A/B experimentation to take the final call. Apart from that, I guess also the company stage or company's willingness to do the experimentation is also taken into account while making decision. Sometimes a company is not having so much time on their plate that they can spend like lakhs of rupees into experimentation. So in that case, we go with the prototyping, call few customers over video call and ask them, what do you feel about this feature? What do you feel about this product? Do you use our product? Those kind of things. And then that helps us to take the final call.
Got it. Perfect. I think just to summarize, like discussing with other internal teams and also looking at data, coming up with the feature requirements or problems, and then prioritizing and then running experiments and then deploying the right solution. And the next common confusion even I had when I started my career, I was thinking if there's a product, I mean, that's just the product I see. There's the app. So let's say Blinkit. Just see the app, that's the only product. But there are a lot of products which are powering that consumer app. There might be an internal app, data product, a lot of other things, right? Which I got to know when I started working and realizing that the number of products behind the consumer app is very high, right?
Right.
So according to you, what are the different types of products a company develops, like any big scale consumer company? If you can even take the example of Blinkit and explain, that would be great.
So yeah, you are completely correct in that there are bunch of like a long list of products that goes behind into helping the customer place just one order and getting that order delivered. So there are like thousand of small products being taken care of by different product managers. So if I have to divide different type of products, I would divide them into consumer facing, then supply side products, and then internal products. There are few more categories like platform product, data product that, as you mentioned, that we can also discuss about. But specifically, if I talk about major big products where the product team is focused, first is consumer product. So if I take the example of Blinkit, all the things that you see on the app, like homepage, product listing page, cart page, offer page, payment page, these are the few different products taken care by different product managers. Next category is internal products. In internal product, there are a bunch of stuff which are used by internal teams, either by tech teams or by external teams like content team or marketing team, business team, and etc. Example being CMS tool, which is content management system. So if Blinkit has CMS team, they take care of all the product images, description, the price, the MRP are being filled into that CMS system. Then there is pricing engine, which is like these are the offers running on these stores from this time to this time. All these criterias are filled into that pricing engine. Similarly, there are supply side internal tools also. For example, I am a dark store manager. I want to raise order for new inventory. Then I will use a tool for that also. And similarly for picker, like item picker, there is an internal tool, how they will go around in the store and pick up those items. Those are the internal tools. Now coming to the supply side product specifically. So inside the supply side also, there could be multiple apps itself for different type of supply people, I would say. One could be manager, like the dark store manager. Another could be picker. The third would be delivery partner. So delivery partner app would have their consumer facing app, and similarly they will have map, address, scanner, way to take payment, so something similar to that. So these are the three categories for the consumer product. If I take social media example, there are different type of products and so on.
Perfect. Yeah, this explains clearly. I've seen, like, especially if you go for a consumer tech company, there are a lot of competition when you apply for a role, right? Because the company is already famous. So many people want to become a PM there, so that they can be very proud of the product. They can tell it to their family also, this the app they are building, right? So fun apart, but just the competition is very high because of couple of reasons. So what are the things you did to prepare for interviews and for cracking roles? If any key tips and tricks you have to tell people that these are the best practices to follow?
So if I to talk about how to crack into such roles in like popular companies, I would say first thing that they look for is customer empathy. How you are able to come up with the ideas or pain points of the customer and how you think of solving them. There are so many products available in the market in every industry, like be it social commerce or e-commerce or anything. You can take ideas from them to solve those product and do case studies on them. Another thing, we do mock test as much as you could. The third thing, these type of companies look for non-linear thinking. By non-linear thinking, what I mean is you read something about Netflix and you got some insight from them. Okay, this worked for them, and you put it and use it at Blinkit. So you should be able to come up with the ideas, take inspiration from something totally different, and be able to produce that insight into your product. So try to build that non-linear thinking. Read a lot as much as you can, because there's a lot of data available. That helps a lot when they want you to do out of box thinking. So these are the few things that companies these days look for.
Got it. Perfect. I think empathy, non-linear thinking, and having like problem solving, able to break like
and
ambiguous problems. And correct. So, and AI is evolving. So
Right.
Gen AI, Chat GPT, Gemini, right? It's taking over. It has already started taking over jobs of maybe customer support, etc. And we have seen the news, and also it's making people more efficient. Even software developers, it's able to code better. It's able to give better code, etc. Analyze code, a lot of other things. But what is your view on how will it impact product management? Will it replace PMs or enable them? Or what are your thoughts on that?
So I also come with the idea that most of the people might agree that AI is going to increase efficiency for everyone, like be it product management, data analysis, or design, content writing, everything. Efficiency is going to increase, and so will the size of the team will reduce. So I feel AI has all the hard skills that it can write code, it can design, it can build prototype in just a few seconds. It can write PRD and write user stories. Whereas a product manager has all the soft skills like influence with your words, storytelling, come up with the ideas, get the user insights from the callings, and the person who will be able to combine these two things will be able to achieve the success. But the amount of people that will be required pre-AI, I would say, pre-ChatGPT, would be drastically lesser now. If the pyramid was this, then the base will shrink a lot in coming few years, I feel so.
So you're telling it might impact the number of jobs because AI will take care of all the redundant or day-to-day hard skill oriented tasks also.
Right. Yeah, I
Perfect.
feel like product management job is like maybe 30 to 40% is hard skill, like writing PRD and all those things, and it can be done in few hours instead of few days. So obviously, no company will require so many product manager with AI.
Exactly. I think the last thing, this is a new question. I've not asked it in the previous podcast.
Right.
So if you could travel back to your final year of college with all the learnings you have currently, what would you do differently?
Okay. I think the first thing I would do is networking as much as I could. Like I myself coming from tier 3 college, I didn't have leverage to options to ask my seniors or other people like to refer me. So networking plays a huge role. Even if you are coming from a prestigious college, having a good network will open up opportunities for you. You never know who can come up with some opportunity for you. So network, like go to networking meetups, try to call people or reach out to them on LinkedIn. It's okay if they are not a strong connection to you, but try to develop that. I would have done that. I am still trying to get over that feeling, but I think I have come a long way. I can now talk to people easily, but I would have loved if I could do that since I was in college. Next thing would be to be open up about the opportunity and interest. So I think by now everyone agrees that we will not be having just one career in our life. unlike our parents, we will be switching multiple careers. So try to build some interest in other things, like don't give up on your hobbies or something else that you might want to do in your life. It's okay, you might switch your careers at some point of time. Talk to more people, you will get more perspective of what people are doing in different areas and even different countries. So be open to that. Third thing will be to seek mentorship. Like having a mentor or cheerleader, I would say, helps a lot throughout your career. To try to have at least one mentor in your life. They can, like, you can have different mentors in different stages and career of your career stages. And so I would have done that in college also. These are the three things I would have loved to do if I can go back in time.
Got it. I think completely relatable. So mentor one, I feel it's very important because at most points we have like 2-3 options and
Right.
we are confused, or maybe we are not at the right place to take a decision because we don't have data points, or it's more like a gut-based decisions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And also networking. That's why network is your net worth.
Correct.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Kirti. I think you answered all the questions and in a very crisp, clear, and also by taking all the examples. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Thanks, Manoj.